Hello, I'm Georgia's Governor Sonny Perdue. As a longtime pilot, I know the joy and the beauty of flying above the North Georgia mountains. It's what makes Heaven's Landing such a unique and beautiful mountain stake airport. Our picturesque Georgia Blue Ridge Mountains serve as a fitting backdrop. Surrounded by national forest, this gated community's centerpiece is its 5,000-foot paved concrete runway designed to accommodate virtually any private aircraft. If you're looking for the right combination of world-class design, plentiful amenities, beautiful mountain scenery, and seclusion without inconvenience, I invite you to consider all the wonderful things this community and Northeast Georgia has to offer. Heaven's Landing truly is like no place on earth.
Heaven's Landing is a 635-acre residential fly-in community located in Northeast Georgia. We're about 3 miles northwest of the city of Clayton in a beautiful county, Rabun County, which was rated the #2 place to live in the United States by Rand McNally. We're quite proud of it. It's turning out beautifully. What I envision is creating a lifestyle in the mountains that's easily accessed through the use of general aviation and provides a hub for people that lead a lifestyle of leisure and travel and excitement, where they're going places, having a good time. We're very centrally located. We're in the northeast corner of Georgia. We're very appealing to people from the south coming up from Florida, and we're also very appealing for people coming down from the north. The people from the north want to get to warmer weather, but not too warm, and the people from Florida are burning up, wanting to get a little cooler up here in the mountains. Our weather is gorgeous. We have our July highs average 85 degrees, and our January highs average 51 degrees. So we don't get a tremendous amount of extreme from either end. And on your way up to Oshkosh or on your way down to Sun and Fun, we're a perfect waypoint for a place to stop and come see the beauty here at Heaven's Landing and be able to see what we've got going on. The Bahamas are a scant 3-hour flight. You can be in Canada in 4 hours. You can do whatever you want, and we can accommodate everything from Piper Cubs to Learjets. It's not as if we limit ourselves on our aircraft. We have the fuel on site. You don't have to stop somewhere else to get fuel. You've got it right here, and when we sell it, basically as a loss leader, our fuel's cheaper than anybody else around.
For us, coming from 600 miles away, fuel stops become an issue, and there are other fly-in communities, unfortunately, that don't have the availability of fuel. And from a pilot's perspective, it becomes a big negative for us because it requires a second stop each and every trip. And for us, again, it was accessibility and ease of use, and that creates another barrier for that. Accessibility was the most important thing for us. We don't have a lot of spare time, so when we do, we like to make the most of it. And living down in Miami, it's 2.5, 3-hour flight here, so you want easy accessibility. We want to land, we want to have access to the home. And rather than spending another 20, 30 minutes driving after we've landed at a public airport.
Also wanting something that was completely different from Miami, a completely different feel and energy and scenery, and that's what drew us up this way.
From a developer's perspective and a business perspective, we've been in the development business for many, many years. And I always find it a very good situation when you find a developer that's it's more than just a financial return. It's a labor of love. And clearly, I think Mike Cicchetti, it shows when you're here in the smallest details. The infrastructure for Heaven's Landing has been thought out very well and done, apparently with no expenses spared. And I think that'll really mean a lot moving forward and holding value here for people that own.
The clubhouse at Heaven's Landing has become the social centerpiece for the entire development. We frequently have parties here, getting together with all of our friends and neighbors in the development, and we've had weddings, we've had Monday night football parties, multiple Christmas parties, you name it. It's a great place to get together. We have a social level with bar, pool table, and widescreen television. We have a catering kitchen for catered-in events. We can seat 65 people at once, and we also have a veranda where you can dine on the outside veranda and watch the people taking off and landing. We have an indoor racquetball court. We have a fitness center which is used for Pilates and aerobics as well as general fitness. What's especially nice after you've had a nice workout is our steam and sauna rooms. In both locker rooms we have steam and sauna. It's a country club environment without the expense and maintenance of a golf course. We're very pleased with that. And then outside of Heaven's Landing, we're immediately surrounded by national forest with hundreds of miles of national forest trails that allow you to horseback ride or hike or mountain bike or ride a four-wheeler as we do. Holly and I frequently get on a four-wheeler and we'll go riding for an entire afternoon, and you can ride for hundreds of miles and never see the same place twice. It's very, very nice.
I never knew there were mountains in Georgia. You always think it's flat. And we were looking for a flying community in the mountains. So we spent a lot of time in California and Arizona and Idaho, Montana, even in Utah, Colorado, looking for flying communities. But it's extreme weather, winds, too high, too low, too cold, too hot, you know. So then we found Heaven's Landing, and it was just perfect. And it's close to where we are. So it's anywhere between 1:15 and 2.5 hours, depends what aircraft we take, and we're there. It looked like heaven. It's got the pearly gates. It's in the middle of the mountains, beautiful, secluded, quiet, even though you're close to a town, nice place, Clayton. Lots of things to do, waterfalls, springs, rivers, restaurants, bike riding, anything you want.
We both enjoy the walks and then a motorcycle ride and then just going to the movies, but with the aeroplane.
The hangars are very unusual, you know, one on top of another, all the glass windows, and the scenery. Even if you're in your hangar and you're sitting outside, it doesn't feel like you're on an airport. It's quiet. It's just everything I wanted. You know, I did not want a busy commercial airport, planes flying in and out all the time, which I like anyway, but you know, the commercial type stuff and the run-ups and maintenance organizations. And so this is private, quiet.
Classy, well kept.
Very well kept. Most of the people I've met are either retired, doctors, business people, and I think they're looking for the same as what we're looking, just a getaway from the busy city life and business. And once you get there, it's absolutely relaxing. You cannot believe taking off from a busy place like this and landing, you know, in Heaven's Landing. An hour and 15, 20 minutes later, and it feels like you've left the country and
You've gone to heaven.
you've gone to heaven. Yeah.
One of the questions that I'm frequently asked is whether we allow people to build their own home-built aircraft in their hangar, and I'm happy to say that we have several home builders actively building aircraft as we speak. We have at present a Vans RV-7 being constructed, a Lancair Legacy. The hangars are very spacious. Our smallest hangar is 50 by 45, and all of our hangars have full bathrooms, standing seam roofs, Wilson bifold aluminum doors, and heat. So they're probably the nicest hangars you'll ever see. We've built a 5,069-foot concrete runway. It's paved concrete runway. It'll accommodate virtually any general aviation aircraft you can name. We can sustain up to a 75,000-pound strike impact, so that puts us up in the Gulfstream 4 level as far as strike impact. Not that that's going to be the common aircraft coming in and out of here, but if they want to, they can. You know, we've lit the field so that it is night capable. We have a PAPI on 2-3, so, and I fly in and out of here, you know, all hours of the day and night. We've got 300 residential lots, approximately 1.5 acres in size. We're quite proud of what's going on here. It's turning out beautifully. Basically here at Heaven's Landing we have two types of lots. We have the taxiable lots, which front taxiways, which allow you to taxi your plane right onto your property and have your hangar and your home together. Or we have long-range mountain view lots, which obviously, because they're up on the mountain, are not taxiable, but that's why we have those beautiful hangars on the field, so that you can have a hangar on the field and a home on the mountaintop. All of our lots are 1.5 acres, so there's plenty of room to build pretty much anything that you want, but yet at the same time we only have a 2,500 square foot minimum build requirement, so you don't have to be a kabillionaire to live here. We like to say that we serve the needs of anybody in general aviation and have a place where everybody can get together and have fun. And that's what we like to do around here, is have a lot of fun. I love the hangars that we built. I'm really proud of them. It's a unique layout that nobody's ever done before by stacking them. We have a challenge with the flat area. We only have so much flat area to build hangars on, and I decided if we stacked them, we put them on top of each other, we could put 38 hangars in that same footprint that he said we could only get 16. And lo and behold, we pulled it off. It seems to have worked, and everybody loves them. I did not want to build hangars that look like tin boxes like you see at an airport, because we're not an airport. We're a residential flying community. I wanted an aesthetic, appealing, nice roof line that was attractive, and windows on the doors and windows on the ends of the building to give it a feel that was different. Anybody can build a tin box. We made it a pretty tin box. And standing seam roofs, Wilson bifold aluminum doors. They all have heat. They all have full bathrooms with shower sinks and commodes. And you can do what you want inside your hangar. You can build your office inside your hangar, work out of your hangar, and still have your house up on the hill that's, that has a view of 3 states. We have 2 equestrian areas at Heaven's Landing, a boarding stable near the runway, and an equestrian village concept up at the top of the mountain with some just stunning views where you can actually have horses in your backyard at your home. We found that there's a big crossover between the pilots in the family and the equestrians in the family. Many of our couples have an interest in horseback riding as well as flying, and Heaven's Landing is a perfect place for that, being surrounded by national forest with the trails that we have. You can ride your horse right off the edge of the property into the thousands of acres of national forest, and it's beautiful scenery. There's multiple waterfalls, miles and miles of trails, and you can actually ride your horse all the way to Lake Burton directly from Heaven's Landing. We're in a county that's just unbelievable. It speaks for itself. Over 80% of the county is preserved, 60% is national forest, an additional 20% is Georgia Power Lakes. So it lends itself to the people that want to get away from the heat and the high taxes and the high cost of living of Florida and get up into the mountains. It's a different lifestyle. It's laid back, yet it has all the area amenities to live just like you're in a big city. We have great restaurants. We have places to shop. You know, we're only about 90 minutes from Atlanta. We're a 7-minute ride to downtown Clayton, which is the county seat for Rabun County, and there's really nothing that you can't do in to self-sustain right here in Rabun County.
Another thing we like about Clayton is that I'm an artist, and the mountain communities offer a lot of art activities and art festivals and a lot of shopping as well. So it's a great escape from Atlanta, from the big city.
I was completely blown away being from California originally and then living in Miami and always kind of being in a big city. Just the beauty, the peace. I just knew instantly this is where we wanted to be. We'd only looked at a couple other places and this just had the feel. It had all the amenities. It had the remoteness, yet you were still an hour and a half to Atlanta. You know, very close to the big amenities if you want them, but you were far enough away to get the peace and serenity and the contact with nature.
Heaven's Landing is located, in the northeast corner of Georgia, but the beautiful part about it, we're only 3 miles from Lake Burton, which is one of the top recreational lakes in the country. It's got 68 miles of coastline. It's at the top of the watershed. It's the highest lake in the chain of lakes in northeast Georgia, which means that we're at the top of the watershed. There's no siltation in that lake. It's crystal clear. It is basically one of the nicest lakes I know of in the country, and I'm glad to say that I live 3 miles away from it. We're 3 miles from town. We're only about 8 miles from the Tallulah Gorge, which is the deepest gorge in the eastern U.S. They call it the Grand Canyon of the East. Beautiful, beautiful place to go hiking. We're only 2 miles from the Tallulah River, which feeds Lake Burton. It's the primary feed for Lake Burton, and it has some of the best trout fishing, fly fishing, trout fishing in the eastern U.S. There's so much to do here: hunting, fishing, biking, hiking on a natural and outdoorsy plateau, camping. But also, we have all the amenities of a big city. So you really, you have the best of all worlds, not just the best of both worlds. You have the best of all worlds.
You can't feel more at home than in the Georgia mountains. The scenery is incredible, and we love all the outdoor activities that mountain living offers. The whitewater rafting on the streams and the rivers here, and the horseback riding is some of my favorite things to do.
The pictures and everything you see does not even begin to capture the beauty here and the peace and serenity. And also the people that are around here are so good and just so nice. We have met some of the greatest people just in this development. Everybody's very gracious, and you just feel like family right away, and that's nice.
The people that are in this place all live the same kind of happy-go-lucky, going places, living life the way you would expect to live life. They're living a full life, leaving no cards on the table. On an almost daily basis, we get together about 5 o'clock and start a bonfire down by the hangars and get together with some of the residents here, and we have a good time. And we're building community, and I think that's our most recent emphasis, is to build community. We've had a lot of fun just getting together. We're just getting rolling on that now, and I think that's going to make this place really come to life. When people see that it's really a fun experience to be at Heaven's Landing and to sit around and rub elbows and trade stories with other pilots that are just living the dream that we're living, then they're going to want to build here and be here. And I'd say one of the biggest compliments I get from people that visit here is that they're amazed at how we are so much better than our brochures and our media interpret us to be. It's an impossible task to try to get people to understand just how pretty this place is without them coming here. And that's one of the things that I think people need to understand. I can show you pictures of this place all day long, and you're going to say it's nice, but if you come here and see it, you're going to say it's gorgeous. One of the nicest things that I get complimented on all the time is the drive into Heaven's Landing. You drive into the place and it's like you're coming through this enchanted forest, through a tunnel of color. The leaves are now changing, which is nice, but even in the spring and summer when it's green, it's just gorgeous. You feel like you're coming through a tunnel of trees, and you turn the corner and there are the gates, the pearly gates of Heaven's Landing and the waterfall on the side. And everybody compliments me on the drive in, but that's Rabun County in general. You drive around this place, everywhere you go, on every corner and every turn, you're looking at beauty. You're seeing, an area that's just God's country, and that's why we named it Heaven's Landing. My partner and I discussed, what are we going to call this place when we started it? And, I said, well, it is God's country, and we kind of put our heads together and we came up with Heaven's Landing, and it stuck. And I also like on the sectional chart where it just says heaven. That kind of makes me feel good. I think we made a good choice. The airport identifier for Heaven's Landing is Gulf Echo 9er. Heaven's Landing is located 3.5 miles northwest of the city of Clayton, Georgia. The Unicom frequency for Heaven's Landing is 122.9. When you're ready to come see Heaven's Landing, give us a call to set an appointment at 1-800-432-8362. That's 1-800-HEAVEN2.